Where'd they go?
All right, what's up, Jordan?
What's going on,
Week
James?
0 is in the books. And we had
It
some
is.
football Saturday for the first time in quite a while.
Football is back,
Football's back.
and we actually got to watch it for once
We
this
did.
weekend too, which was nice.
One of the few
Um,
weekends we're going to get, right?
I know. I don't think I have another one. Maybe one more weekend
Yeah.
this fall, like until like late November.
Right.
For those of you who are wondering what we're on about right now, we are both wedding filmmakers, so
Living that good life.
typically we're pretty busy on Saturdays.
Saturdays
So
is the go-to day for weddings,
it is. It
unfortunately.
is.
And college football, so we just can't win
I
there, can
know.
we?
I was thinking about this earlier today. I was like, man, it'd be so nice if we lived on the West Coast
Mhm.
because for like the 11 a.m. Central Time kickoffs, those are 9 a.m. kickoffs. So basically, you wake up and football's on.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that would be like so ideal to just be like, oh, it's 9 a.m. I can watch like the first half of a game before I have to go film my wedding or whatever we're doing.
Right, because typical start time is until like noon or something, so
Right. Yeah.
you
You could
could maybe
almost
get a whole
get
game in.
you
Yeah.
could almost get like the early game in, like the Fox, like the big noon Saturday. You could almost get that full thing in.
Yeah. I mean, I guess as is right now, we can I guess it was the Pac-12 after dark. We could have got those in
But
prior to
now it'll be
the
like
shift.
Big Ten
Late
after
night.
dark
Yeah. Big 10
/
something.
ACC because
Yeah.
Cal and Stanford are in the
Yeah.
ACC. Like
That's
Cal
crazy.
on the West Coast is in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Has to go all the way across to the
That
East Coast.
that doesn't make any sense. I don't.
Weird what they have
Conference
done.
realignment is strange.
Yeah, it's super. We'll get into that later too.
Yeah,
I'm sure another episode of True Tailgate.
Yeah.
And this isn't our typical. We'll do some actually like really nice recorded shows where we're actually out with
hmm
the professional camera gear that we use for weddings and all
Yeah.
that.
And we do plan on actually going to some tailgates, like being
Yeah,
at a game,
and podcasts.
tailgating and doing these podcasts. So, if you're seeing this, like, let us know where we should go.
That'd be cool.
We both currently live in Nebraska, so in the eastern Nebraska area, is where we're both at. So someone kind of local would be nice. We can't really show up to like any of like the sailgating up in like Washington super easily right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, drop in a comment of where you think we should go set up and tailgate and record a show.
Yeah, that'd be cool. If we can get a Saturday or a weekend to hey, maybe we could do like a Thursday night game, Friday night game.
Yeah,
Does
their
Nebraska
Thursday
have
game.
anything?
Nebraska's got a Friday game this year.
Okay. So maybe
I
that's
think they play Illinois on a Friday.
Do they? Okay.
I think it's in Lincoln too.
Okay. Maybe that's our game. Yeah.
Maybe.
That'd be cool. If we have any followers by then, be cool to see them there.
Yeah.
Come
Find us in the parking lot.
Find us in the parking lot, yeah. The back of Jordan's car.
Yep. My spacious car.
Yeah.
So,
week
right, 0, we want to talk about a couple of these games.
Yeah, you start us off, Jordan.
So
Georgia Tech, Florida State.
Georgia Tech, Florida State.
I know you missed the morning, right? Because your son was sealing the game with an interception or something.
I was at a true tailgate of a 8-year-old's flag football game, which my son did get. So they're in a flag football league. They were up 6-0 because when you score, you have to go for 2. And they didn't get the 2-point conversion, so it was hard, yeah. And we're still learning the game, but
right.
So it was like in this league there are like 3 different fields, like they're all playing at the same time, and so they're like announcing like, "Hey, start of the 4th quarter," or whatever, blah blah blah. And so they just were like, "All right, 1 minute left," and so they were up 6-0. The other team had just gotten the ball like at their like starting position, which was like way at the other end of the field.
Right.
And so this kid for this other team rips off this like huge run, like some kid like on my son's team whiffs on this tackle. They run down, like someone from my son's team finally pulled his flag like super close to the end zone, and then they were like, all right, final play. Like if you
Oh,
it's
shoot.
like end of the game, or if they have they get one more play from scrimmage if they haven't started yet or whatever. And
Right.
so
That's
they
pressure.
they line it up. It's a pass play from the other team, and my son intercepted it and started running it back the other way.
Okay, I gotta ask you a question. Was it like the Chubba Purdy pass to the Iowa middle linebacker? Was it like
Yeah,
an
it
easy pick
was.
like that, or was
It
it like
was.
he
I
actually had
mean,
to go make a play?
it was kind of a duck, but
Okay.
I mean, he still went and got it. Like that was
Okay.
something like I was like, hey, whenever someone throws the ball, whether you're on offense or defense, you can go get it. It was
Yeah.
something that like I've been trying to like impress upon him. So
Right.
it was pretty
Very
cool
cool.
to see him like actually like internalize that, and then like on defense go get the ball.
Yeah. Now, what was his instant reaction after? Did he like get down in the end zone, take a knee, and seal it, or did he try to
No,
run it back?
he was at like there's no risk of like a fumble because
Okay.
in this league, if the ball hits the ground, it's a dead ball.
Okay.
Which happened to my son's team when they snapped it and the quarterback fumbled it and dropped it. It's just dead ball, end of down. So there's no like risk of like a fumble or anything like that. So as soon as he intercepted it, he started running it, trying to run it back for a touchdown.
Okay.
Like he tried to end the game on a pick six, but some kid from the other team got his flag before he could get all the way. He did. I mean, he probably got, I don't know, 10, 15 yards on a, I don't know, like 40, 50-yard field. So
right.
he made a little ways.
Yeah, that's cool. And he got the pick,
Yeah, he got the pick, and then like
sealed the win.
Yeah, everyone was so excited. Like his coaches came out like giving him high fives, and
did he get an extra Gatorade or something in the post game?
I don't know if he did or not.
Did you give him one of your little gold trophies? Yeah.
Yeah, I did not give him a trophy. He probably earned it though. Yeah. So maybe I'll give him one.
A little bummed if I was him. Dad's got all these trophies in his closet, and I didn't get one.
Yeah, so I give out trophies at weddings. If you do something, if you ever are at a wedding and I'm filming it, if you do something above and beyond, I might give you a little trophy at the end of the night. So that aside, I did miss like the first, I don't know, quarter or so of the Georgia Tech Florida State game in Dublin. So from what I understand, Florida State just went right down the field and scored.
Yeah. No, right off the bat, Florida State looked good, and it looked like they were going to romp. Yeah.
And they went for 2, didn't they?
Yeah, they ran a swinging gate. And did you see the replay? I didn't know you could hike it sideways like that. I thought you had to go through the legs.
Like picked it up and like turned and like almost like lateraled the ball.
It was like an underhand lateral, backwards, obviously, but I didn't think you could do that.
I didn't know you could do that. Yeah, the center just picked up the ball, kind of turned and was like, "Here you go."
Exactly. And so I was kind of baffled, but they gave it to him. There was nobody complaining, so I guess that's possible, I guess. But yeah, they didn't get over, and it was just walked right in for the 2-point conversion, and it was 8-0 right away. And like I said, Florida State looked good that first drive, and I was I didn't. But then after the first drive, because Georgia Tech answers, and Georgia Tech looked really good marching down the field. I think they broke a big run, and I got all the way down and scored too. So
I'm gonna shout out. I'm gonna borrow a term from the Cover 3 podcast, which is a college football podcast I really enjoy. So I will give them credit. But Haynes King, the quarterback for Georgia Tech, was last year they deemed him as the Whoops the Daisy King.
Right.
Because he had the most turnovers in all of college football.
Yep.
I think he had the most passing touchdowns, but he also threw the most interceptions. Like in all
football
of college
or the
football.
ACC?
It might have been in all of like Power 5 last year.
Okay. Because I think he had 27 passing touchdowns. I think it was
pretty
like 27.
Good.
Yeah. I think it was like 27 and 13 picks. So
they called him the Whoops a Daisy King, but he did not have any Whoops a Daisies in that game.
No.
He looked pretty good.
Well, I guess they had 2 whoopsie daisies near the end where they had the fumble, the botched snap. We can get to that later, but but nothing cost them in this game.
Yeah. I mean, Georgia Tech looked pretty good.
Yeah, the line looked real good.
They did. I mean, against what was supposed to be a pretty good like front seven for Florida State.
Yeah, the announcers were shocked the whole game at how they were just moving them and they couldn't get penetration in the backfield or anything. Yeah.
I think that was probably the most surprising thing for me watching the game was Florida State on both lines of scrimmage looked like they were just getting worked.
Yeah. They couldn't run the ball. And then they kept trying to run the ball. And that was just shocking. It's like they didn't trust DJ.
Like, yeah. And it was one of those things too where it's like I think Georgia Tech did a good enough job of getting them uncomfortable enough because like when DJ can be comfortable, he can be good.
Yeah.
But like the thing has always been with him, I feel like when he was at Clemson, at Oregon State, like if you can get him out of his comfort zone, he becomes a below average quarterback.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like I totally agree. Yep.
When his line's protecting him, when things are going on script, like he can look above average. He can look like a pretty good quarterback. But if you can like get him out of rhythm, get him uncomfortable, he becomes not like a below average quarterback pretty quickly.
Yeah. When I think you saw that too at the end of the game, they had the 2 4th down conversions they had to get to even tie it. And I mean, he was money on those 2 4th downs. I mean, he made 2 big time throws. So yeah, it almost looked like they didn't want to give him those options or put that much, I guess on him early in the game. And like they wanted to ride the line of scrimmage and the running backs. And I mean, they weren't getting any sort of a push. They weren't breaking any runs.
Yeah.
A lot of 2nd and 10s, 3rd and 8s. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I tip my cap to Georgia Tech because they did a really good job. Like I said, on both lines of scrimmage, I think they won overall both lines of scrimmage. And like, that's how you win football games. Like,
yeah, it starts there. I mean, starts and ends there. Yeah.
Any form of offensive, defensive scheme, like if you can win the line of scrimmage, your odds of winning a game go up exponentially, I feel like.
Yeah. And if you don't turn the ball over. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, I know this is gonna be a sore subject for you, James, but on my PlayStation 5 on my Dynasty.
Oh no. The PS5.
With the PS5. I know. But yeah, I have the new college football game. And like this is back to like when I used to play the old college football games too. I kind of figured this out. It was like, okay, if you win the line of scrimmage, so like I focus all of my as much as I can on offensive line and defensive line, like recruiting those guys, good talent at those lines.
Yeah.
And like this one, like you can upgrade your like coaching skills and whatever. And I think my guy's a recruiter. It's Bobby Fischer is the name of my coach.
Bobby Fischer.
Bobby Fischer.
Sounds like a movie that should be made. Good old Bobby Fischer. Yeah.
Bobby Fischer. Well, Bobby Fischer it's such a long inside thing, but it stems from the Will Ferrell Saturday Night Live thing when they were the cheerleaders at like the weird events.
Was his name Bobby Fischer in that?
No. So Bobby Fischer was a famous chess player.
Okay.
And so Will Ferrell and I forget the other name of the lady on Saturday Night Live, but they were at a chess thing and they were like doing like this little chant about they kept bringing up Bobby Fischer. And I was like, go ask your mama and make sure you listen. Because one thing is for sure, Bobby Fischer's mission. Bobby Fischer. Where is he? I don't know. Well, this long thing of like, it became like Bobby Fischer became a character in all of the old games, like when my brother and I would play.
Okay.
Like I think on like college basketball 2K8 back in the day, we had a guy named Bobby Fischer. And so like every time he'd like throw out a dunk, like because Bobby and Fischer were both names that they would program into the game. Like you could hear like the they have like the commentators, but there's also like they have like the arena announcer or whatever.
Yep.
So it'd be like a big dunk, and then the guy in the arena announcer would be like, Bobby Fischer.
Oh, nice.
Like so Bobby Fischer is just it's an inside joke tradition. Anyways, Coach Bobby Fischer is a recruiter, and you can pick like the different positions that you're going to specialize in recruiting. And so he is maxed out right now for his current level on offensive line, defensive line. And now I'm working through like quarterbacks, stuff like that.
Okay.
You gonna play it? All right.
I'm going to play Bobby Fischer real quick.
No,
yeah, here we go.
Use a flash in here. It disturbs the players. Dad. Ariana,
what?
My dad wants to take a picture of us.
Oh, great. You just told me I split in.
I know, I'm sorry. So you want a victory? Well, that makes you a wisher. One thing that is for sure, you ain't no Bobby Fischer. Bobby Fischer. Where is he? I don't know. Bobby Fischer. Where is he? I don't know. Go ask your mama and make sure you listen. Because one thing is for sure, Bobby Fischer's missing. Bobby Fischer. Where is he? I don't know. Bobby
This is
Fischer.
so good.
Where is he?
I miss old Saturday Night Live.
He's gone. Hey!
Nice.
Who's that Spartan in my TP?
Nice. That's cool, man. That's awesome. That was cool.
That last little bit's going to make us lose our PG rating. Sorry, kids.
Oh, my goodness. That's good. That was fun. Anyways, yeah. So, yeah, Bobby Fischer.
Yep. Anyways.
So, back to O-line. Recruiting.
Yep.
Good O-line means everything. Good D-line means everything. Yeah.
I feel like that was really the difference in that Georgia Tech Florida State game.
Yeah. Well, even like the pregame, they did the little interviews with both the coaches, and the Georgia Tech coach was saying how, yeah, we're really focused on our O-line, D-line, and we're going to win there. So, and then they did win there. So, Florida State might have been a little bit maybe feeling a little confident too. I mean, they got DJ to transfer in. They were 13-0 last year. I mean, maybe they were riding a little bit of a high.
And I think they had a lot of those guys come back, and they felt they felt like a little slighted from like the playoff thing.
Right.
You know, and I think they went after Cam Ward first before DJ. And I think when Cam Ward said no, because that was back when Cam Ward said he was going to go to the NFL.
Right.
Like he was going to go, like, because I think Ohio State was trying to get Cam Ward, Florida State was trying to get Cam Ward, like a bunch, because Cam Ward was, I mean, he's pretty good. He's a really good college quarterback.
Yeah.
We'll see when, you know, how he does it at Miami this season. But
right.
You know, and then I think when he said he was going to go to the NFL, then I think they moved on and went and got DJ. And then Miami must have just backed up a Brinks truck, or I don't know what happened with Cam Ward. Because then he was like, hey, actually, I'm not going to the NFL. I'm going to go play in Miami.
In Miami, yeah. That'd be a fun game then when Florida State and Miami play. A little bit of a...
Yep.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting. I think Miami is going to be an interesting team to watch this year, because
I got people picking them to maybe win the ACC.
They've got a lot of pieces.
Yeah,
I'm just not sold on their coach as like a game
manager.
Yeah,
I mean,
mostly because
we could talk about the Georgia Tech game last year.
Funny enough, I was gonna just bring that up. I think it was after a wedding or something, and it's one of those things where I turned that game on.
Were we together? I remember this too. After a wedding, I don't know if I was with you or
I turned that. So last season, Georgia Tech was playing Miami. Miami was up, and they had the ball.
It was over.
With it was like 30 seconds left.
Yeah.
And I think Georgia Tech was out of timeouts. They just had to take a knee. Miami hands it off. The guy fumbles it, and Georgia Tech got it. And then it was like 2 plays later, just this huge bomb up over the top.
Your boy, Haynes.
Haynes King, the Whoopsie-Daisy King.
He was not a whoopsie-daisy on that play.
No.
That was
the only Whoopsie-Daisies were on the Miami side. Yeah, like that was like I remember like that's happened several times, I feel like, with sporting events where I turn it on just as things get absolutely insane.
Crazy. Yeah.
And I'm like, what is going on? Is this real?
Right.
Like, do you remember, so this is a total tangent, then we can move on and talk about the end of this game, but the Minnesota Miracle with against the Saints and Stephon Diggs.
Was it
like Case Keenum was the quarterback?
Okay, I remember the one with Bernard Berrien too.
So
that was Favre in the back of the end zone. That was a heck of a. But yeah, I remember
the one against that was against the 49ers, right?
Yeah.
So this one was
down the sideline, right?
Case Keenum, it was like Drew Brees. Like I think the Saints were the favorites to like go to the Super Bowl from the NFC that year.
Yeah. And they just went down and scored or something, right?
So I was sick.
Oh.
And I was like laying on the couch, like sick. I had a fever. And I think like my family had gone like somewhere else. They're like, "You're sick. We don't want to be around you." Whatever. So I was laying on the couch. I fell asleep. Like I just was like, I turned the game on like at the start and like passed out on the couch because I was sick. I woke up and it was like the Vikings had like just gotten the ball back or something like that. I was like, okay, what's going on? And then I watched that play happen and I was like, what? Wait, is this real? Am I having a fever dream right now? Like,
right.
Because I just, I was like, this doesn't seem real.
Yeah. Well, the Saints defender, whiffed on the guy, or
He
was
whiffed.
going for the ball,
He went for the ball,
Yeah.
and he totally whiffed, and there was no safety help over the top.
And time ran out, right? So then it's just
that was it.
Diggs was just by himself.
They made them kick the extra point.
Yeah.
And like it was like one of those things where if the Saints blocked the extra point, then they could have like taken it back.
Yeah.
I remember sitting there watching that because they were doing the Vikings do that skull thing.
Yep.
Like they were lining up for the extra point, and like the entire stadium was just doing that skull.
Yep.
I was like, this has to be. This isn't real. This is fake.
I know,
I'm having a crazy dream right now.
One of the most unreal endings, I would say.
So, anyways. Speaking of people who were probably wishing they were just having a crazy dream, Mike Norvell and the Florida State Seminoles probably wished that 44-yard field goal to end the game wasn't real. But because that guy had just recently missed from 51, right?
He had missed in the first half. He missed his very first kick from 51, but then he made his second kick. I think it was like 52, or it was a little longer, I think. Maybe it was 40, somewhere in there. But and then he had the 44-yarder. But to even get to that 44-yard field goal was crazy because 2 plays prior they had the botched snap and lost a bunch of yards. They were then out of field goal range. So then they had to get back in. Then they had that little slot receiver play to was it Singleton who caught that ball, and then again Florida State's defense on that play. I mean, I guess on that, I'm playing tight man coverage, and I'm not letting some guy get a ball in space and then make some moves. And I mean, I think he picked up like 12, 15 yards on that play and got him back in field goal range. That was, again, Florida State's defense could have easily. I mean, that could have went to overtime, and I feel like if it does go to overtime, you just got to
make one play.
Yeah, one play.
One play.
If it goes to overtime, I think Florida State wins too, because they had just scored to tie it. So. That sucks.
It was tough, but
it is real tough. Yeah.
Just real quick, might be kind of fun. I thought.
Yeah.
I'm pulling up both teams' schedules. It's like a quick win-loss, like kind of for the rest of the way for Georgia Tech.
Yeah. Are you able to share, or do you want me to?
Oh boy.
If you open a new tab and you come back here, there should be a way to share screen on the bottom. I think there's a share that you can access to. Unless it's just me that has that.
Oh, I gotta give my browser permission.
There you go. Yeah, what a crazy ending though, man. Like I said, I mean, DJ had to make 2 big throws on 2 4th downs on that drive just to tie the game, and and dude, props to Florida State's kicker, man. He made a 62 and a 69 yarder. So,
I mean, I think it must be the rugby stadium that
helps with the
carrying those kicks.
Distance, carries the kicks a little longer. Yeah.
All right. So Georgia Tech has Georgia State. So we'll give them the dub there.
Yeah.
Syracuse.
Georgia State can be pesky though, but yeah. Okay.
I think I'd give Georgia Tech the win.
At home, after seeing what they just did to Florida State, yeah, for sure.
Syracuse. The
Orangemen.
The Fighting Kyle McCords.
Yeah. And that's always tough to play at their place early on a Saturday. I'm not sure what they're looking like this year, though.
I don't know. I might say loss for Syracuse.
I'm gonna go win.
Could they win? Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna go win. I mean, they just knocked off the number 10 team in the country. Yeah.
I think they'll beat whatever VMI is.
Vermont
Mining Institute. I don't know.
Yeah.
Louisville.
That could be tough.
Yep. I like I like Jeff Brom as a coach.
What they got for quarterback? Their quarterback's gone, right? The one they had last year.
Yeah, I think they lost quite a bit.
Yeah.
So,
but he's a good.
He's a
coach,
very good
offensive
scheme
mind,
guy.
Yeah.
He's a very good scheme guy. If it's anything like when he was at Purdue, they'll have some slot receiver who will just torch everyone.
Yeah. Well, they torched Kentucky last year.
Mhm.
So Kentucky had a pretty good defense. So, yeah.
I don't know.
I think that's a loss.
Loss. Duke win.
Duke's supposed to be good, right?
Well, Duke just lost their coach to Texas A&M. But they did get what's his face? Is that Malik Murphy from Texas? The Texas backup?
Yep.
I think he transferred to Duke.
Okay. Yeah, I know they got some quarterback from somewhere, yeah. Should probably look that up.
I think it's Malik Murphy.
I think you're right.
Anyways, Duke.
Yeah, it is Malik. Yep.
I think between Georgia Tech or between Louisville and Duke, I think they'll split those. I think they'd go like 1-1.
Okay.
Between those.
So they got one loss after going to October 12th against UNC.
Right. So I have them at 2 losses because I think they might drop Syracuse.
Okay,
so
Syracuse is going to get them. Okay, cool. I got one loss. I think they just looked really good. So
North Carolina at North Carolina.
I mean, they're without Drake May.
Yeah.
They lost some pieces.
I mean, I don't know. It just kind of depends. North Carolina is just like perennially 8-4, I feel like.
Yeah. That's usually where they line up and finish. Yeah.
Notre Dame. So the big games left for them are Notre Dame, Miami, North Carolina State, and Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I think Georgia Tech will probably drop one of these games that they don't really have any business losing.
Okay.
So like they might drop the UNC game or the
Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech might be ranked by the time they get there too.
Okay.
But I think one of these ranked teams at the end of their schedule, I think Georgia Tech will knock one of them off. I think Georgia Tech's going to bite someone else the way they did Florida State.
Well, the nice thing is they got 3 of them at home. So, I mean, the one game I think you just write off right now, I don't think they're going to beat Georgia. So, I think Georgia's, so the 3.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way.
I mean,
crazier
things have happened.
There's a way, but.
I also remember watching Appalachian State beat Michigan.
That's true.
I never thought that.
That's like the first game of the year, though. That's not.
I never thought I'd see that happen. But I think it could be Notre Dame.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Notre Dame yet.
I think Notre Dame could be one of those teams where they just get bit.
Yeah, Miami's got Cam Ward. He'll pitch it around. I mean, I'm not sold on their pass defense. I mean, Florida State didn't really test the pass defense all that much. So yeah.
Overall, I think I mean, if I had to guess, overall, I might say like 7-5. Like that's a pretty rough last stretch. Like those last 5 games, by all rights, I think they should lose them all. Like if we're playing it out on paper.
Yeah. Well, who's NC State got? NC State's got some people to be ranked 24th.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I feel like they're one of those they're really a well-coached team.
Okay.
They've kind of got like that Wisconsin thing a little bit about them.
Okay.
They're not super flashy, but they're just good. You know what I mean?
Right. See, like I said, them at home, it's a night game too. And I mean, you got Georgia. I guess that could be a look ahead too. Because you got number 1 or probably
your big rival,
Georgia at Georgia. Yeah, the big rival game. Yeah. So, yeah, I could see that. I could see them dropping that. I'm going to say 8-4 for Georgia Tech. So,
well, I mean, I think they'll get, like I said, I think they'll maybe get one of these last 5. I would chalk the rest up to losses.
Yeah.
So if I had 2 more losses up here, so 4. So I guess I have them at 6-6.
Okay. I'm going to pull something up real quick if I can too. Maybe I can pull it up.
If I can spell.
Where is it at? Oh, you can't do
So Florida State.
Oh
has
wow.
BC, Memphis, Cal, SMU, Clemson, Duke, Miami, UNC, Notre Dame, Charleston Southern, and Florida.
Okay. Well, we know they're going to beat BC coming back home. They're going to want some revenge, right? There's going to be some.
Maybe.
There's going to be some feisty fight out of
Maybe.
the Seminoles, man.
You would think that they would. They're probably going to get their manhood challenged a little bit.
How far is the loss going to drop them, you think, in the rankings?
I don't know.
Can you predict that one?
Maybe like 20.
20? Still in the top 25, though. Yeah.
Maybe. They could drop out.
Yeah. Good. Okay.
So I think they'll probably bounce back and win these next 1, 2, 3, 4 games.
Yeah, because they got a pretty easy slate. BC, Memphis.
We'll get to SMU next.
Yeah.
But
I'm not sold on SMU at all after.
Want to talk about soft line of scrimmage.
Oh my god.
Spoiler alerts.
Yeah.
Anyways, I didn't think they could beat SMU is what all I'm saying after watching those games.
Yeah.
I think they'll lose to Clemson.
You think Clemson's coming back this year?
Yeah.
Good year? You think so? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they'll.
Duke at Duke. It's a night game. You got Miami next week.
Duke, Miami, North Carolina. I think they win 2 of 3.
Yeah. I'm going to say, I bet they'd lose to Duke.
Probably beat North Carolina. But
beat North Carolina.
I think they'll lose to Miami.
I think that's going to be a battle, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'll be a battle. But yeah, we'll see. Like I said, if that Miami coach is
right
poorly managing games again,
I mean, they should be. Yeah, it's really going to come down to how I think game managed the Hurricanes are. That's their cap. I feel like.
Yeah, it'll be tight. It'll be close.
The regular season.
Yeah. Okay, so you got him losing to. Who do you have losing to? Miami.
Duke, Miami, Clemson. So I think this will be a rough middle. So I'd put them at 3 losses
after going into Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you got a night game.
Notre Dame.
That's tough.
Yeah,
that's always a tough one.
That's really a toss-up in my mind. I gave
Fighting Irish.
I think I gave Georgia Tech the upset earlier, so I might have to lean Irish because I don't think.
Well, we already know they don't like Ireland, so.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they could have some pent-up, especially if Notre Dame decides to wear the green jerseys against Florida State.
They should.
That would be.
They should.
Yeah. Florida State's not having a good time with anything Irish this year.
Yeah. A lot of Dublin signs maybe in the stadium.
And then Florida. I think
Florida's supposed to be good. I think it's supposed to be good this year.
Florida's got a brutal schedule. I think Florida's got one of the hardest schedules in the country.
They might be pretty beat up by that.
Yeah, I think they're talking about they might not have their coach by then. The bottom might have fallen out by then.
Okay. Yeah, so that's give them the win there.
So 8-4, I think, for the Seminoles.
And I want to share this real quick.
I guess I had them 4 more losses. So No. Take that back. Georgia Tech, Clemson, Notre Dame, Miami, and Duke. Yeah, I have them at 5. So 7-5. Oh, sorry, Florida State.
Yeah. All right. And here on NCAA football futures, right now, Georgia Tech, because you had Georgia Tech at how many? 7?
I had them at 6-6.
Oh, okay. So 6. So you're right on with DraftKings, and then right now it's 5 and 5.5. So
that's right. Because
if I'm at 8 wins, that's like an easy.
Jordan knows ball.
Yeah, I guess it's minus 176 though at over 5.5. So really good chance they'll get 6.
I'm gonna put that in my my Twitter bio. Jordan Hopper, knower of ball.
Knower of ball boy Jordan. I gotta share this too real quick before we go on to the next one. We talked about it, so I got to share it because it's too good not to share. So here we go.
Oh, yeah. The Minnesota Miracle. There it is. Yep.
Dana steps into it. Pass is
Just a whiff.
Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable!
Yep.
Vikings win it!
Just a whiff.
I was laying on my couch, like, you know, like when you're sick, like blanket up to my chin, just laying there. I was like, did I just see this?
Right. Look at Drew Brees. He's not even sure he just saw it.
I was like, did this really just happen?
You see Marcus Williams here. He has a shot. I'm not sure really what he's thinking, Joe. He comes in. He's got him dialed in. And
he takes out his own guy, too.
Make a play.
My gosh.
And even if he catches it, you tackle him in bounds, the game is over. And
yeah,
I know Diggs, he's catching this. He's expecting somebody to hit him. And he turns around. Heck, nobody's there. And he's off.
But great awareness by Diggs, though, too.
61 brilliant yards for Stephon Diggs.
Anyways.
And Case Keenum.
So that was fun. That was a great game. Great. Yep. One of the greatest finishes. Yeah. Minnesota's got a couple. Like I said, the Brett Favre one to Bernard Berry in the back of the end zone. We got that 1 foot down. That was pretty special too. Anyways, yeah. So
that was against the 49ers, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 49ers. Yeah. I think Brett Favre had like shaken one guy off, and I think he was getting sacked. Had another guy kind of draped on him, and just a pinpoint accurate pass. Then Berry in to get that foot down. Man, that was. Or I guess he had to get 2 feet down. My bad, 2 feet.
He had to get 2 down. It's NFL. I had to get 2 down.
Man, yeah. By the way, what do you think about the new NFL kickoff, where they're kicking off from like the other side, same side of the field, like from the 40, and you can't run until the guy.
They're lined up like 2 yards, 10 yards across from each other.
Yeah.
I think it'll be interesting because it looked like in the preseason it has added a little bit more excitement to that. It makes it a little bit more like a punt.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely does.
I think I am truly in favor of I heard someone suggest it, that instead of the kickoff, whenever you're doing that, you start with the ball. It's like 4th and 15 at your own 40 or 30 or whatever it is.
Okay.
So most of the time you punt, right?
Right.
But it's 4th down, so you could trot your offense out there.
Right. Technically go for it.
But then if you don't get it, then the other team gets the ball. So I like that idea, because then it's like most of the time you're going to kick, and there's like punt returns are I think are opened up for a little bit more of like a return. It's I think overall like a safer play. Because there's not people running full steam at each other
you're not
30 yards
like that.
Yeah,
you're starting on the line of scrimmage against.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I agree. So
I like that idea.
I like that. I never. I like that idea.
I
do like that.
I think that'd be fun.
I do like that.
So,
all right. So Florida State returns home from Dublin and with an L, 0-1, and
ouch.
Georgia Tech comes home 1-0. Impressive. By those Yellow Jackets. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but I don't know if you saw that. Did you see the middle linebacker for Georgia Tech, by the way?
That dude with no neck,
like a beast, Mr. Like big Brian Urlacher, or like just a dude. I would not
people,
want to meet him in the hole. I would not want to meet him in the
Twitter like comparing him to Juggernaut.
Oh yeah.
From like the Deadpool and Wolverine movie or whatever.
Yeah, dude, he was a scary looking dude. He was hitting some people too. So that's what you want your middle linebacker to look like. I feel like if I have a middle linebacker, if I'm coaching a team, I want my middle linebacker to be that dude.
That's one of those dudes. It's like he was put on this earth to play middle
linebacker. That was his calling. Yeah, you're playing middle linebacker.
You know what I mean? Like he's one of those dudes. It's like you were like.
It's either that or fullback. We don't see fullbacks all that often anymore. So like a Mike Allstott.
The fullback is like, unless you go to like a service academy or Iowa, you don't see many fullbacks.
I don't even know if Iowa's still utilizing them, but like the service, like you got Army, Navy, and Air Force or whatever running them.
Yeah, you're still running the triple option.
Triple option still, yeah. Hey, they're still effective for them. They still run it pretty well. So, anyways. All right, so next game we had, I guess the next game technically was the New Mexico, Montana State game. That was an FCS
Oh
school
man,
though.
I watched that.
That was a crazy game.
New Mexico looked so good.
They did.
The first
quarterback
half.
looked so good.
They
Did you see
did.
that
They
play fake where he fooled the entire team? He
Mhm.
goes behind the back. On
They
that
were
handoff, and then
speaking of triple option, they were
Yeah.
running some of it.
Yeah,
They pulled a few. That was they were running some triple
it
option.
was like it's like a wishbone or something, wing tees.
like yeah,
fake
like
around the end. Yeah,
some of the like I was watching some of the commentators were comparing that guy to like if you squint your eyes, he almost looks like a Tommy Frazier out there.
yeah.
Little
That
bit,
was
'cause-
impressive. They
yeah.
looked good, and
But
they were up. They were up. I think it was 17-0.
and I think
And then what happened?
they kind of I feel like they almost jinxed him on the broadcast
Yeah,
a little bit because they were talking about like they were up and like you're all like whatever and they're like like because Bronco Mendenhall came in, the old Virginia coach, right?
mm-hmm. Yep.
Came in and like wanting to like teach these guys how to win. It's like whatever, but like I think it's one of those things of Montana State was in the playoffs in the FCS,
Yeah.
so like
They were good.
those guys know how to win football games, and New Mexico football's not been very good. Like
Not
they're
done well
like
winning games.
they're like 2-10. Like
Yeah, that's pretty much an average season for them. 2-10
they're
or whatever.
New Mexico. From what I had a friend I used to work with, who's from New Mexico. She was from Las Cruces,
Mm-hmm.
so down south, New Mexico State. The way she told it is basically at the end of the year, New Mexico and New Mexico State are playing each other for their one win.
For the one
like,
win, trying to get
for
that
the one win.
victory.
Like,
It's a big game then, because you're
it
rival,
is, 'cause
and you also you
it's
want to
a
win. You want to end on a
in-state
high
rival,
note,
and you're
right?
trying to get a win.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of
Let's get that first win, boys.
Right.
Let's go.
like not trying to dog on New Mexico or New Mexico State, but it's just historically it's kind of what those programs have been. So like
Yeah.
New Mexico is kind of in that spot,
Mm-hmm.
and they got up, and it's just like it's one of those things. I feel like you see it against like with North Dakota State when they play people too.
Right. Yep.
Like those guys, they may not have like the stars next to their names from like recruiting services or whatever.
Yep.
But those guys just know how to win games.
Yeah.
And
They don't give up.
believe-
They keep playing. Keep
right. They
fighting.
believe that they can win.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because it's just like they just are. They're like expecting to win. Like we should win this game, and like
Yep.
Montana State never gave up, and there were a few plays, and especially in that second half, where like I think New Mexico, they were like one of the worst defensive teams last year,
Mhm.
where you saw that where guys were just like out of position, bad.
Right.
I
Well,
think
I
it
don't
was
know.
like one of Montana State's last like big touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Like again, it
Oh
was
yeah.
like the
Nobody around him.
the safety was completely out of position and the corner fell down, and it was
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
gone. Like
Yeah. Well, they really did crumble, because I think it was 31-14 going to the fourth quarter, and they had just returned a fumble for a touchdown. So New Mexico looked really, really good
I
starting
think
that fourth quarter.
it felt like watching. I mean, because so we both. I mean, we mentioned it before. We both live in Nebraska. It felt like kind of watching Nebraska under Scott Frost,
Yeah. Yeah.
where it's like they would look good, they would be up, whatever, and then it's just like the other team wouldn't lay down, and when they punched back,
Mm-hmm.
then it was like the guys almost started looking around at each other like, "Oh man, here we go again."
Yep. Yeah. And I think it was
Like-
that 93-yard run.
Like, do you remember? Was that 3 years ago? The Nebraska Iowa game. Do you remember that? Like Nebraska was up like 21-6 or 21-3.
Did we win it, or
or-
did we lose it?
No, they lost.
Oh, we lost it.
They were
Okay.
up big, and then Iowa, I think, blocked a punt, and like it was a blocked punt for a scoop and score,
Okay.
and like so then it was like 21-9. Like Nebraska's still in control of the game, but you could see the look on everyone's faces.
Mm-hmm.
They showed Scott Frost, they showed the guys, they showed the people in the stands. There were over 90,000 people in that building that just said, we just lost the game. And they're up 21-9. Like,
right.
They were like, it's over.
Yeah.
Because it was, and they lost. They couldn't come back. Like, it was just another one of those, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just like a here we go again kind of thing. Yeah. And I felt like the same kind of thing happened to New Mexico. Because I mean, you were
once they got that, they kind of got punched, and then
because you were texting me like when New Mexico, like at halftime, you're like, how is Montana State favored in this?
Yeah, well, that's the thing I thought was so crazy. I think they were like minus 800 on the money line. They were like a 7.5 point favorite. And going in that fourth quarter, they're down 17, and I'm like, this was easy. She should have just taken Montana or
taken New Mexico State on the money line and laughed all the way to the bank. But
sitting at plus 500, but no, like I said, then that what was his name, Jones, the running back for Montana State, broke that huge run, that 93-yard touchdown run, and that really like woke everybody up, and
that was
because then that made it 31-28.
Yep. That was the one where everyone was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah. And there's 4.5 left. So all they had to do was get some first downs, run some clock.
And New Mexico, like, I feel bad for those guys because it's like
I know. They had to feel so good going to that fourth quarter, holding that
up 17, like, man, yeah, boy, we got it.
We're gonna get it. We're gonna get our first win week 0, not even week 1 yet, and
1-0, new coach, like,
yeah. But then what did that? I think the drive. Did the drive? They go? What did they go? How much time did they take off the clock in that? So they 5 plays, 12 yards, 2.5 minutes. Had to punt.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. That was then they went 11 plays, 89 yards in 1:49. So talk about that 2-minute offense Montana State ran there. 89 yards. Yeah, that was a killer. That sucked. And I watched that live too. I think they had a 12-yard pass, got down to the 4-yard on 10 seconds left, and the guy just runs in from 4 yards out. Unreal. So how does New Mexico recover? And I guess the other question is, like, how good is Montana State compared to, like, I guess the rest of the FBS opponents that they'll be facing? I mean, we know Montana State's a pretty good team.
Right.
But
New Mexico plays Arizona next.
Okay.
Auburn.
Oof.
I think they beat Auburn last year.
Did they beat Auburn last year?
At Auburn, I think they did.
No.
Like the week before the Iron Bowl.
You're joking. They did not beat them last year, did they? I'll be shocked.
It was New Mexico State.
Oh, I was like, there's no way New Mexico beat them.
New Mexico State waxed Auburn.
Yeah.
They 31-10.
Oh, geez.
In Auburn's house.
That's crazy. That is insane. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I'm sorry, I don't remember that. But
and then they get into Mountain West play.
Okay.
They've got Fresno State, New Mexico State, Air Force, Utah State, Colorado State, Wyoming, San Diego State, Washington State. And then they end playing at Hawaii.
Okay. So how many games can they get there, Jordan?
Oh, boy.
I'm going to go pull up my NCAA futures. See what the odds makers have them at right now.
Oh boy. So we're 0-1.
Yeah.
So
A game
I think
they should have had.
Arizona 0-2, Auburn 0-3, Fresno 0-4. New Mexico State wasn't bad last year. I think I saw
No,
they
they
were
were. I mean, if they beat
9-3
Auburn,
last year.
yeah, if they beat Auburn.
They hung with Liberty in their bowl game.
Did they? Okay.
New Mexico State did, yeah. So I might give that to New Mexico State. So it puts us at 0-5
Oh no.
for the Lobos.
Oh boy.
I don't feel like Utah State's gonna be good. So I mean, they've got Air Force. I don't know. So Utah State.
See, I don't know what about those teams either right now.
I might
Those teams are always
I think they
tough.
can between Air Force, Utah State,
I feel like they get.
and
I bet they can get.
Hawaii. I think they could get 2.
I bet they get. I think they can get Air Force. I'm gonna give them the win over Air Force.
I think New Mexico can get 2.
Okay.
Let's see.
Give them 2 then maybe.
Yeah. What is the?
I can't even find them to. Would be to win total wins. Here we go. Total wins. Let's look up New Mexico. Ooh, the over-under is right at 2. It's slightly heavy on the under 2 at -121. So if you wanted to take over 2 wins at +102, you could actually get some plus
FanDuel's got them at
money.
2.5.
2.5. Oh yeah, I see 2.5. But 2.5 to go over is +184.
Plus
It's
184.
-230.
-230 to go under.
So, oh my god!
So
They really
juice
needed to
to
get the
the
Montana
under.
State game. They really needed the week 0 game. Yeah, if you bet that before the season started, you're like, oh no! Can you imagine that? Till you place that bet, you're looking so good going to that fourth quarter.
The over, yeah. You're like, yeah, we got this.
You get one, you only need
this.
2 more, and now you need 3 still. And you just read the schedule off, and I
I
don't know.
don't know if there's 3 wins on that schedule.
Not anymore. It's gonna be a rough first year, I think.
Poor Bronco.
Sorry, Bronco. He had a rough time at Virginia too, I think.
Yeah.
He only did what? BYU, didn't he? I think BYU is
Yeah.
where he kind of made a name for himself, and then I think Virginia he kind of fizzled out. So,
Well, real
I don't
quick,
know.
in the interim between that game ending and SMU and Nevada kicking off, I did briefly turn on the.
Oh, did you watch
the Florida A&M
Norfolk State
versus Norfolk State game?
Did you really? All right.
I did briefly turn that on. And
I didn't watch it, so fill us in.
My kids were around, so it ended in a 1-point win.
Oh, did it? Wow.
Yes. It was 24-23. So I told my kids, they were asking me questions about this. I was like, guys, I don't really know. So they are both the HBCUs, so like historically black college and universities. They play in there's a couple of conferences. So they're both from different conferences, but they do like a kickoff classic thing at the beginning of the year.
Yep.
And so Norfolk State was, I mean, I didn't really have a rooting interest in the game, but Norfolk State was like, if I had to pick a team before the game started that I was rooting for, it was Norfolk State because a while ago, a long time ago, when Omaha was hosting the NCAA basketball tournament, Norfolk State was a 15 seed and they played Mizzou, who was a 2 seed.
They beat them.
And my dad and I went to that session.
Oh, really?
So we were there in the arena.
Okay.
And it was so funny because, like, you know, everyone had filled out a bracket and no one picked Norfolk State to beat Mizzou, the 2 seed.
Right.
But like, I remember we were in there, I think Florida and someone else was in there. Like it's like because it's like a session, so you go to 2 games. It's like 4 teams, so you get tickets for the whole thing.
Right.
But we were in there, and like pretty much, it was like at the start of the game, everyone's like, "Oh, Mizzou's gonna like roll these guys," and so it's like everyone was just kind of in there, like, "Oh, like who, like clapping when like," and then it stayed close into halftime, and then like in the second half, you could feel every time Norfolk State scored, more and more people in the arena turning on Mizzou because we were
their own fans, not their own fans. I hope
their own fans. It was like no, Mizzou fans were still for Mizzou, but everyone else, like 90% of that arena, was just casual fans. You know what I mean? Like people that was like, "Hey, we're going to see some basketball," or they were like Florida fans or like whoever the other team was.
Yeah.
But like to the point where it's just like it felt like a home game for Norfolk State in a 17,000 person arena. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it got like whenever Norfolk State scored, it got loud in there. Like, I was jumping up and down. So I was, and like they were just like they're like I remember like they were like cheerleaders were down there just going nuts. Like, it was super cool, like sports memory. But
when you didn't have a rooting interest, I mean,
I didn't have a rooting interest.
You're always gonna take the
so
you want to see a 15 CB to 2 seed all the time,
right. Yeah, it's super rare to have a 15 beat a 2.
Yeah.
So going in, I was like, Norfolk State, like I saw them do something cool once, so maybe they'll do it again. I don't know. But I told my kids, whichever team wins, I'll buy a hat for their school because
Are you gonna break out? Are you gonna break out a hat right now?
Did you get one? I didn't buy the hat because it was yesterday. It was been less than 20. It was, I guess, a little over 24 hours now.
I was gonna say,
but
Amazon could be good.
Yeah, but the game was won by Florida A&M. So,
they won.
Yeah. So we're gonna show off.
Are you gonna show you?
They are the Rattlers. The Florida A&M Rattlers. So you got the kind of the classic like dark green with like the orange bill. There's the orange hat with like the snake on it.
I like that orange one. Or I like this one on the top right, the one with the gray or silver brim.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, I like that one.
That one's kind of cool. I kind of like the dad hat. Like that's kind of a cool.
You like your dad hat? Yeah.
So we got a couple options.
Oh, you got this cool little like split color one here on the left.
Yeah.
Ooh, you got one that has the actual snake skin.
The snake skin.
Oh, you have
trucker
to get that
hat.
one, Jordan. That is the one. That is the one. What's the logo on the front? What is that logo? I can't tell what that is. What is that? Oh, it's a picture of the
statue outside of their like their school or their stadium.
That's it, dude. That's the one. That's the one. It's got to be.
I don't know. Like I kind of that orange.
Oh, you liking that orange, huh? You should break out your Runza hat for the rest of the session here.
I do need to get the Runza hat out. Yeah, some of these hats are pretty cool.
They are.
So, promising for a future episode, I will get a Florida A&M hat and I'll don it. For an episode
to see what their schedule is and whatever week they're having a big game, you should wear it for that game or that podcast we do. Just everybody knows. We should probably let everybody know we're gonna try and do this 3 times a week, Sundays to recap Saturday, and then also Tuesdays and Thursdays. So if you guys are out there listening somewhere,
let's see. The Rattlers have South Carolina State, Miami of Florida.
Ooh, that one. You need to do it that one.
7th.
That needs to be the one. That's the one.
If they upset the Hurricanes.
Is it a Saturday? It's a Saturday. Okay, so the Thursday episode, you got to sport that.
Saturday, September 7th.
I want to see you decked out. I want to see you with a shirt, a hat. Oh, hey, Jordan. I want to see you with a snake around your neck. With a snake rattle around your neck.
If they beat Miami.
Yeah, you'll do it for that. You'll do it for Sunday's episode or the next week.
Beat the Hurricanes, yeah. If they beat the Hurricanes, I'll show up in every snake thing I can possibly find.
Snake boots, snake gloves.
Yeah, like I'll go all out.
That'd be great.
Yeah, but then they've got Troy, Alabama A&M, Alabama State, Jackson State, Southern U, Texas Southern, Prairie View, Mississippi Valley, and is it Bethune-Cookman? Yep, Bethune-Cookman.
Bethune-Cookman, all right.
That's how they end. So, but they won the Florida A&M won the HBCU championship last year.
Did they?
They did.
Okay.
So I picked that up from the broadcast. So I think they got some dudes.
Yeah, they must have some dudes.
But Norfolk State looks pretty good too.
Okay. I mean, they had to have. I mean, 24-20. Didn't they score late?
24-23.
To take
they
the leader.
both scored on like their opening drive.
Okay.
And
they like stalemated for a bit.
It kind of stalled out like after that for a little bit. So
okay.
It's kind of like the defenses kind of, I think, felt each other out, like felt the offenses out, and then kind of bowed up a little bit. But yeah, 24-23 was the final score.
That's a fun game. That's a fun game to watch.
Yeah. What do you got here?
Real quick here, I want to show you where the Florida State Seminoles stand. Over under 8.5. Look at that. Heavy on under. So 8 wins might be all they get this year after going 13-0 last year.
Yeah, I mean,
that's crazy.
I mean, I had them at 7-5, but again, I don't think
you had
I would
Seminoles. Seminoles at 7-5.
When we looked through the schedule, that's what I got.
Okay,
but I'm also I wouldn't bet it.
Yeah,
because I don't trust myself because it's a early season like overreaction.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's in Dublin.
I'm just basing it off of one game that was on a different continent.
Yeah. I mean, you could look at how Nebraska played against Northwestern over there, and
Northwestern looked really good in that game,
and then they
didn't win a game on American soil.
Yeah, that was the only win, and it was on.
They lost to like UTSA. They lost to like a MAC school. And
it cost Fitzgerald his job, didn't it? Didn't he lose his job after that?
That was a different thing.
That was a different thing. Okay.
There was some different stuff going on at Northwestern that Mr. Fitzgerald got fired for. Because
he got into some stuff,
was a former player for Northwestern, like favorite son. They love him.
Yeah.
I mean, he took him to like the Big Ten championship game like 3 times.
Well, you know someone else who was a former player who was a coach at a school and
took them to 0 bowl games, 0 championships.
Yeah. It was the guy before him, Gary Barnett, right? That was the guy who had him going places, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean Pat Fitzgerald was a pretty good coach.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah.
Yeah. We could talk about Scott Frost too, but we'll skip over that for
this one another day.
That's for another day. All right, so let's get to it. Let's get to SMU and Nevada.
SMU Nevada.
Yeah, you tell me what your thoughts.
That was what I was really surprised by.
Yeah.
I kind of thought SMU was going to name the score.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, because they got a lot of guys back.
Yep.
They are
a high-powered offense.
Mm-hmm. They're in
great play caller.
They looked really good last year. They're in the ACC, and they're taking no money from the ACC's TV deal because I think they've got a lot of like booster support, like from back in the day. I think a lot of like the old boosters from like back in the day with like the Pony Express,
like
Eric Dickerson and those guys back then. Like I think there's a lot of guys that like want to see SMU kind of restored to its former glory. Like
yep.
And they've got oil money down in Texas to do it. So there's there's okay, we're gonna put our money where our mouth is.
Yeah.
And like we want SMU to be back.
Yep.
Because SMU they were really good back. That was like the Southwestern Conference, right?
Mm-hmm. Southwestern Athletic Conference or was it something like that. But yeah, they were always pretty good. Yeah, back in
they were like
80s.
top 5.
Yeah,
like they were good back 70s, 80s.
Yeah,
so I think they've got boosters that want to get them back there.
Yeah.
And
they've had some good teams in the past too.
And Nevada was not very good last year at all.
Yeah, they were pretty terrible.
They were like,
but they brought in a new coach.
Like I think they were like one of the worst offenses like in the country. Like they were not good. But they brought in a new coach. I think they said the offensive coordinator was at Nebraska for a bit.
Yeah, Yeah, it was Lubick.
I can't. Yeah. I was like,
yeah.
I couldn't think of his name.
Yeah, he wasn't there because I think he's ill with something right now.
He was in the booth.
He's in the booth. Okay, cool. Okay,
I saw him there. Yeah, he's in the booth. They were talking about he had cancer. I think it's in remission right now. But
that's right. That's right.
The head coach I was listening to them talk about it. They're like, the head coach called him to offer him the job. He's like, hey,
Yeah.
We basically tried to talk him out of it.
Yeah.
But Nevada looked pretty good, like pretty inspired, like play calls, pretty inspired, like play. Like I was impressed by Nevada, and
I was very underimpressed. Conversely, by SMU.
Their
offense did not.
They're up there with Florida State. They did not look good at the lines of scrimmage at all.
Well, I think Preston Stone, I think at one point he was like 7 for, or no, sorry, it was like 3 for something, had a pick. I think actually they benched him, didn't they? In the first half? Gave him a series off or something. So
well, I think they were planning to run 2 quarterbacks the whole time.
Oh, were they? Okay.
SMU was.
Okay.
But who's the other guy? The other quarterback for SMU? I can't think of his name.
Daniel was not Daniels. Oh man. I'll get it pulled up here. But yeah, that was where's that?
Right.
Excuse us while we.
Yeah, this is some
Kevin Jennings. That's who it was.
Jennings, yeah,
and he was 4 of 5 for 54 yards. So
Jennings looked good.
He looked pretty good.
Like I didn't know why they didn't just let Jennings kind of ride it.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
But the start of the second half, Preston Stone did come out firing, and they did look better.
SMU did come back and win the game. Like I'll give them that. Like, but I don't know. I would be a little weary if I was an SMU fan for the rest of this year.
Yeah, I mean they struggled.
Yeah,
pretty mightily. Yeah.
And
it was what was the? I mean, it was. I know I texted him like I think Nevada's going to win this thing because it was 24-13 going to the fourth quarter.
Yep.
And then I think the first drive SMU had in the fourth quarter, they missed a field goal. So it was still 24-13, and Nevada had the ball back. But then they had a poor drive, and then SMU kind of went on their run.
Yeah, and they only won as 29-24. So
yeah,
it was close pretty much to the end.
Well, they got lucky. They got lucky with that safety after they scored to cut it to 3. They cut it to 1, and then they got that last drive. So
they've got Houston Christian.
Christian.
Yep.
Never heard of that.
Well, that's who SMU's got next, so they should win that.
School? Yeah. Looks like the Huskies. Okay. Yeah, that's a win,
something.
I hope. A dog
BYU.
Or a wolf. Okay. Tricky. TCU supposed to be.
So these are both. These are all at home.
Yeah.
But I mean, TCU is a big rivalry game for them.
Yeah. Yep. I like TCU.
Florida State.
Okay.
Kind of lean Seminoles there.
Yeah, after seeing them against Nevada, I gotta lean a lot of these teams.
At Louisville.
That's tough.
At Stanford.
I don't know how good Stanford is, I guess.
Stanford's not very good, but at Duke. Pitt at home. BC at home. At Virginia. Cal at home.
I mean, they got winnable games there. Games they should win. I feel like most of the home games they should win. I think Cal, Boston College, Pitt.
Yeah,
they get those. BYU, I think they beat BYU. TCU, I'm going to give them a loss. Florida State, I'm going to give them a loss. And one of the road games.
I don't think they'll win Louisville or Duke.
No, Stanford's right now a toss-up.
Like,
how good is Virginia supposed to be? Do we know anything about Virginia?
Supposed to be improved.
Yeah.
I'm looking. You see these over here. This as low as $11. An SMU game might be on the menu for a true tailgate, James.
Hey, you never know.
We drive down to Dallas.
And it's what's it, 8 hours? 8-hour drive?
Yeah.
We could do that. Go watch him play Cal. Tailgate out.
Let's see.
Boy. Tough to be a SMU fan right now. Tough to be a lot of fans right now. SMU, FSU, New Mexico. Boy.
Let's see. I'm looking it up now. Gerald Ford Stadium. Directions.
I'm gonna MapQuest it right now.
MapQuest. Google Maps, good sir.
I know. MapQuest was a thing of the past now, isn't it?
10 hours.
10 hours. Okay.
From my home to
well, you're in Omaha. So
Gerald Ford Stadium.
Yeah. You started in Lincoln.
If we started in Lincoln, it's only 9. So
there you go.
Save an hour.
Save an hour, yeah.
So I guess
have a sleep over the night before, and then we'll take off.
We'll rendezvous at your place.
Yeah. My wife's like, "Why are you going to Dallas?" I'm like, well, we got $11 tickets to the game, so
we got
tough to beat $11 tickets. Yeah,
we've got
that's cheaper than a movie. It's cheaper than a movie ticket.
It is.
Yeah.
We've got a podcast, and we're gonna go see Cal SMU.
Yeah.
Live.
The Golden Bears.
I do like. I texted you this just. I do like SMU's uniforms. Like.
Yeah. Hopefully they break out the ones you like. Do you like the blue ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like the red, white, and blue. They look crisp to me. Like it's patriotic. How do you? I don't know. I like the way those look.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I do like the way their uniforms look. The white helmet with like the red Mustang on it, like
almost like an old school Patriots, New England Patriots look, kind of like thing. Yeah. Yep.
So
alrighty. So we had
the nightcap.
Yeah. That you passed out.
Into the morning cap. Yeah, I did.
Into the morning cap, yeah.
I did shut it down.
And you went to bed where it was like 14-0, right, at half? So you were feeling like, okay,
Hawaii, Delaware State.
Yeah. What's their mascot? They're the Hornets? The Hornets of Delaware State?
Are they the Hornets?
Yeah, I think that's what they are.
You were telling me to get a hat for them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're the Hornets, yeah.
I mean, they do have some cool looking stuff too. Like
They do. I'd sport some of that. I like the teal and the red. So
yeah.
But again, another, I guess, underwhelming performance.
Yeah, that was
Brendan Shager, how do you say his name? He did not impress. And
that was a missed opportunity for Hawaii. I feel like that was like I think Hawaii plays UCLA soon, so
that's their next game, yeah.
I'd heard that they were maybe trying to not use all their plays kind of thing.
Didn't want to show their hand, yeah.
Right.
That makes sense.
I mean, Delaware State.
They were 40.5 point favorites on the 40.5.
Yeah, Delaware State was a team. I think you could have run it up,
You could have just, and you talked about the plane issue they had earlier, where
they had
to take 2 separate planes, and so
Delaware State missed their charter flight.
Yeah,
so they had to fly commercial on 2 different planes, like a day late. So like their body clocks were all messed up. They were flying from East Coast United States, Delaware,
all the way to
Hawaii.
Yeah,
it's like a 10-hour flight. All these time zones, like their body clocks were all messed up. Like Hawaii had everything going in their favor to win that game, like walking away.
Yeah. And like I said, you got Brendan Shager back, he'd been there. It was his 23rd consecutive start. It was in a brand new stadium too. So they were breaking a brand new stadium. Yeah, it was. I mean, everything was prime and ripe for them just to wax them good,
win big, and didn't work out.
Interesting fact: Delaware was the first state. Hawaii was the 50th state.
Oh.
Added to the United
last state
States.
Beat the first.
Yeah, last state beat the first. So
take that.
Yeah, but yeah, final score 35-14. Yeah. It was a boring game.
I didn't watch
There was
it.
there was not a lot of
I
offense. It was not high powered.
I went to bed.
Yeah. So anyways,
So-
that wraps week 0.
Ready for week 1?
Ready for
Who-
week 1, which starts on Thursday night.
Get some big boys playing.
We got some we got a lot of like pretty, I mean, they look like blowout games. But if we want to go from real quick here, we got Western Carolina at NC State. What do you think there? Just call a score. Call a
Yeah.
score real quick. You tell me what your score is.
NC State, Western Carolina,
Yeah.
42-7.
Okay. We got Murray State at Missouri. Number 11, Missouri.
45-13.
Okay. We have the Lindenwood Lions
Oh boy.
at Kansas. Number 22, Kansas.
I don't think Kansas gets beat, but I don't think they look good.
Okay.
I want Jalen Daniels to be good. Like I really like
Right.
when he's good, I like watching him play.
Yep.
But like I still don't know about his back, and I don't know about their backup because their other backup who was good last year transferred.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's like a new kid. So
Could
I
be
don't know,
an interesting game.
it might be more of like a 35-14, kind of like that Delaware State Hawaii game where Kansas maybe
Right.
pulls away a little bit at the end, but it might be a little dicey there for a minute.
Yep. I agree. You got North Carolina at Minnesota. That'll be a fun one.
Ooh.
Right now, North Carolina sits at -1.5. At Minnesota, though. First game of the season.
I don't think Minnesota's going to be very
The
good.
Fighting PJ Flex.
I don't think Minnesota's going to be very good. Like
I thought they got a new quarterback though, who's supposed to
they
be.
did. They're old quarterbacks now. The quarterback at Rutgers.
Yeah, I thought the new guy can toss it though a little bit, which is what they kind of have been lacking. So I guess that'll be an interesting game, I guess, to see how both
I don't
teams
know.
look.
I think Minnesota's going to struggle to make a bowl this year.
Do
Personally.
you? Okay. We got Southern Utah at number 12, Utah.
Utah big.
Ooh, see, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take the Redbirds.
Really?
I'm calling it right now. Sorry, the Thunderbirds of Southern Utah. If you look at their season last year, they finished really strong and they put up a lot of points.
I think Utah's got Cam Rising back.
Yeah?
I think Utah's going to win the Big 12.
Oh, do you? Okay.
They do. I
You're
think
calling
Utah's
that
gonna
one
win the
right
Big
now.
12.
Okay. Over Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. Or Texas is gone. Oklahoma's gone.
Oklahoma State.
Who's in the Big 12 anymore?
Well, they just picked up
Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, right? Still there?
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They just added Colorado, Arizona State.
Okay.
Utah.
Okay, so Colorado's there. Okay.
Yep, Colorado's back.
So
in the Big
Colorado's
12.
not going to win it. Okay.
No, Colorado's not going to win it.
Interesting.
Colorado will struggle to make a bowl.
Oh. Okay, so maybe here's an upset pick for you. Maybe.
We can maybe hit some wins and losses on another episode this week since we've still got some time.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
And kind of run through some conferences. We'll hit kind of some win totals.
Yes, yeah, because Colorado, they got a big game on Thursday. Okay, cool. Yeah, because we'll be back Tuesday. Try to be back Tuesday. We'll get
We
the
hit
Thursday
some win
games.
totals on Tuesday, and then we could maybe do
recap Thursday night or something. I guess.
Yeah,
or we'll figure that out.
So we could do some picks for the weekend.
Yeah, there you go. That sounds good. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it there. I don't know how long we go. Hour and 15. That's good. Okay, cool.
That's good.
I'm late. I'm tired. Are you tired?
I'm tired.
All right, perfect.
I'm also hungry.
Oh, you gonna go eat now, Jordan? No.
Yeah, I'm gonna go eat a late night snack.
All right, guys. Well, like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed the content. We'll be back hopefully Tuesday to talk picks for Thursday and whatever else. Jordan,
Thanks, guys.
it's been a pleasure.
Always, sir.
Over and out.
All right.
See
Bye.
ya.